Good morning. I got the assignment to put together a window banner for the front of our church that goes right next to the front door. People can walk by or drive by and see. It has to be simple, quick, and very visible. So the banner is 5 foot by 7 foot, and I had this idea, having a cell phone kind of in someone's hand, and then them looking for directions, and they're right here at the church. So you'll see at the very end what it's all about. But I have to get a picture of a cell phone. And there's all these ones on the internet search engines, and there's all these ones that you can get from these professional places. But I don't want to spend like $40 to get one little photo. And basically, you can see what I'm going to do here is I'm going to vector in a phone, just the outline, I guess, of the window or the casing of the phone. And so Corel Draw has these tools where you just hit trace, and it makes a trace of the phone or whatever picture you have, and you can use it from there. But as I'm doing this, I'm seeing that there's a lot of curvy lines, a lot of estimation, a lot of calculation. So I'm going to do it Old Testament style here. I'm going to vector the phone like this. I'm using the I think a freehand tool, and I'm going to vector the outside of the casing of the phone, and also vector the square of the interior window of the phone there. And I'm using a special fill tool that's going to fill in the difference between both lines. It's going to give me that all black area and give me a nice, solid, clean phone image. And so just real quick, in my philosophy, if it's on Google, it's fair game, and some places you go and there's like this, the person who took the photo or the picture or created it asking you to not use it for any extrapolation works, don't use it for this without permission. So yeah, I'll honor that. And I'm not going to go just take a screenshot from a stock photo site and use the screenshot and try to Photoshop out all the watermarks and everything. I think that's cornball too. So I will do this though. This is right here. This is like me looking at the Mona Lisa and doing a pencil drawing of it and saying, hey, I'm going to use this in a flyer just as an element in my design. It's the same thing. I'm not really stealing the photo, but see the wireframe on the right? That's what I did just now. It took me about 40 minutes to do it, it felt like. But the black thing right there, and I'm toying with it in the vector program just to play around and see what I can do with it, how I can manipulate it. What I'm eventually going to do is just export it as a big black and white photo and pull it into Photoshop. And so anyways, if I find a Google image and it's just like from an advertisement or something, or some meme somebody put up, they want that out there, so I'll just use it. Like the Microsoft phone image you saw earlier real briefly, I actually ended up using that one as the main, just to get the hand. See, there he is with the hand. I'm in Photoshop now, and I'm posing the hand in the phone like I want them in my picture. So taking this area, I'm going to have to cut out everything behind the hand. I'm using the magic wand tool to select areas, and the lasso tool to select areas that I want to erase out. And then I'm using the eraser tool with a hard edge, 100% opacity to do that. There I imported the JPEG picture onto another layer and put it on multiply so that I could move it around and see what's underneath it. So there it is without multiply on, and I had to just hit the magic wand tool and erase that center part. Now that's where I'm now. I created two selections, one of the digital window, one of the outside of the frame of the phone. So that's how I'm able to accurately erase all this stuff on the outside without messing up my phone picture. I'm using a mouse here, not a pen tablet. So those selections are going to help me in the future to put stuff on the interior and on the outside of the phone. I have it spill over into the rest of the design. So here I'm erasing out the layer underneath the phone, which is the hand layer. And see, that's what it looks like. Real quick shot. The phone is totally gone. It's in heaven now. Here I'm taking a map. Google search, just generic map. It doesn't have to be anything, but I chose, of course, the city of Colton. And right here, what I did was I experimented with different filters and ways to make the map distorted and make it look like it's on a rolling pin of some kind. I even went into Corel Draw and tried to use the envelope filter to do it, but it turns out it's just making like a clipping mask, and it's not really distorting the image. That's not what I wanted. So I went back to Photoshop, decided to experiment with different filters. I ended up using this one called Shear, which is right here, S-H-E-A-R. And here we are. I'm moving it into place. getting the dimensions right, making the angle. I want to make the angle extreme so that I know that it looks like it's on some perspective going off into a horizon. So this is the person searching Google Maps and you find the direction for their life, because that's what Google is like, man. The direction for your life, man. It's right there. So I'm just using the select tool and the adjuster tool there and just taking pieces of the map. The little section on the right is actually a layer underneath. And so I'm going to use the layer effects tools to make a gradient and hit multiply and make it like adjusting the angle there. And I got like I actually use the actual the map image there for the second one. Now it looks like it's got some 3D perspective with some shadowing. That whole yellow and blue gradient is going to go, it's going to be like my little sunset that they're walking into. I'm just representing the sunset. I'm not going to draw a little happy face with stuff going on there. I just use my selections from my phone selections to be able to erase things effectively and put them where I need to put them without any bleed over. Now I'm putting a reflective layer on top of the phone because that's what happens. You know, your phone's like the guts in the screen, and there's like a glass layer on top that covers everything. If you'll notice, the phone in your pocket has that. So I'm making a whole layer on top, transparent fill, but then I'm using the gradient layer on I think screen or soft light setting, and adjust the gradient so it looks like a little streak of light. And I'm going to duplicate it and adjust it again and get an effect. It's really subtle. It's so subtle, hopefully you don't even notice. It's one of those things, if you notice it, then it's too much. If you don't notice it, then you know, I did my job effectively here. So I'm adjusting the sky color, making it nice and dark, making the yellow a little more pale. I don't want it to totally dominate the image, but that's how the phone is in its raw state. So I'm gonna go back. I make the button. It's basically a circle selection, an elliptical selection, and I'm making the spray painting black and white on there. I'm going to give it a stroke, and instead of a line, it's going to be a gradient. Give it kind of a highlight feel on it. And you shouldn't even notice the button's there. It's going to be there, but you shouldn't even notice it. So you'll do like, you know, 5-10 minutes of work and purposely not wanting anyone to notice it. I did a Google search for street view city landscape, and this one comes up. Found a good one. I'm doing a radial blur. You can adjust all kinds of things in the radial blur. Doing some level adjustments, saturation, desaturating it a little bit. Usually the problem is too much colors. If it's too color and crazy, then it doesn't look real or genuine. But if you can get the right balance of color and saturation and highlights and everything. I even highlighted the hand, did some shadows with the dodge and burn tool. Alright, here we are, coming to the end of this one. Bring out some highlights in the thumb and the fingertips. Now I'm going to make my map pins. You ever drop a pin on a map? Well, these are going to be map pins that are shaped like people. More like the pictures on a bathroom stall. Alright, so I'm using this reference. I also did another screenshot of this other stock photo, but I'm using it more like a proportion reference. Man, woman, and child. Let's see as this goes through. I'm just going to vector in some lines so they look like little pins that are also shaped like people. Doing them blue so it'll contrast on the black, but eventually I'll get rid of the black image underneath and just work with all black like it's going to be on the design. So vectoring is kind of fun, making things out of triangles and squares. And, I'm making them basically look like wings. One for her, one for him. And the little kid not going to have any arms. He's just going to be holding on to mom and dad's hand there. And legs are going to be kind of the same thing, little skinny triangles. And they're all going to have the same kind of ones, just different sizes, different shapes. Another thing you can do with Corel, we have a bunch of vectors on top of each other. You can just select all 5 or 6 shapes and hit weld. It's a little top left thing on the property bar that you hit, and it welds it together. Now that whole man and the whole woman, it's all one design. It's all one huge curve from start to finish instead of a bunch of objects laying on top of each other in different layers. So there you have it. There's the family pin set up. It's in black. And I started saving it a JPEG image, but then I realized if you're going to pull a JPEG into your Photoshop document, you're going to have to erase all the white. Don't want to erase the white. So if you save it as a TIFF, TIFF or a PNG, it preserves the transparency in the background, and when you pull it in there, it's already transparent. You don't have to do any extra work. So I'm also decided, instead of just to have a family walking on the map, I'm going to appeal to a broader audience and have like single mom with her kid, and then single good lady, and then generic guy by himself, and then I'm going to put the man and the woman together, make like a couple. And then we can have a couple. That's who shows up to church, you know. That's who possibly would see this and relate. So as you can see, I pulled it into Photoshop, and it's totally transparent. The alpha's all there, I guess you could say, and you have it. They put the family down. It's kind of walking straight up and down at first, but then I decided to do like more of a perspective shot with it, where they're walking in a perspective manner up into the sunset. See, there's man by himself. He's the main character of this story, but he's one character of many. Alright, couple right in the middle. Alright, so that's an initial, just kind of feeling out. I didn't have an exact idea what I wanted to do, but now it's coming together. You know, I started off just saying phones with a direction. Okay, but now I think it's taken shape. Now it's appealing to an audience, and more than just one audience. It's not a gangster flyer, you know. Jesus died for you, homeboy, and then only like 5 people in the world understand that. So, but now here's, you know, family, single people, couples, single moms with their kids. You know, that's who we're appealing to. So, what am I doing here? Okay, this is the actual document. This is the 5x7 feet. It's actually 60 inches by 84 inches. That's how you do banner production. It's got to be huge. 72 DPI, not even 300. All those pixels on a banner is redundant because you see it from far away anyways. So here I am making the phone, little elements, making it look more like a phone. The search engine has like hope, love, joy, peace, heaven, guidance, all the stuff you'd be looking for, a reason you might come to church. But like you'll set up a banner for 5 foot by 5 foot banner, then you have to make a document 72 DPI that is 60 by 60 inches. Or you could do 150 DPI and make it 1 inch per 1 foot. Either way, it's different than your regular flyer output. Flyer, you're gonna hold that close to your face. You're gonna pay attention to minute details, but this banners is different. So here I am just putting text on there, like I did on the other flyers and documents. There's actually an arrow tool in Corel where you can make a cool arrow and use it here. And so the idea here is that the arrow is pointing at the door of the church, where the banner is right next to the door. I'm experimenting with color, just kind of laying things out, and actually the pastor is going to have the final say on what color what is and what exactly we use in the very end. But so I'm making a proof for him, and I don't even know if he's going to like this design, but I like it. So if not, I can use it as a flyer later on, but for right now, I put my little fade to black at the bottom, and I'm using straight up white text, and it looks great. And to me, it's great when you can just use white or very simple text effects, like just making it white, and it looks great. And I don't know if those service times are going to be big enough, but we'll see. So now you can see the image, and now I'm looking at, since I have blue lettering, I'm going to whiten up or overexpose the background and plant it back into the Corel document. In fact, I decided, why don't I just do a couple night shots too? Because it might be kind of more funky, urban, and cool if I have a nighttime shot there. So I'm doing night city landscape street view now on Google, and then I have this out here. I'll do the radial blur on it. I even did night hand. I adjusted the hand with the level adjustment, so it looks kind of darker and highlights are more pronounced. And I might even go back later when I get a final answer and color some of those highlights like the background. We'll see. So I got like a brownish kind of like a small city, then I got a big city one. And to finish it off, I'm just going to I'm going to do like 4 different proofs for Pastor. Just send them one big huge proof and say, here, there's 4 ways you can have this, and pick one you like. And that's usually good. Some guys don't like that. They'll just take whatever you they'll just take whatever it is that you want, that they like, and you're just stuck with it. But that's that for now. I'll be speaking at you later. I have some other words from wisdom later on as I get answered back on what this is, but that's the flyer production for today. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.